Did you Noah? We are here once again to chat some pro wrestling. Noah, I am your co-host Andre C. Right over here, it's the ever-present, the awesome, the amazing Princess Melball.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm alive. Tired, but alive.
4 or 5, still alive.
6, 7, go to heaven.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure, eventually.
I don't even know
If
where the
that's what
4-5 thing came from. So
it was a Catwoman reference, my dude.
the
Batman
movie?
Returns. Yeah. With
Oh
Michelle
yeah.
Pfeiffer, Catwoman.
Yeah.
He shot her
The
twice, 4 or 5,
the
still alive.
the the worst Batman movie.
Debatable,
Yeah.
because it wasn't great, but that version of Catwoman was pretty sick.
I like Eartha Kitt better.
I mean, who doesn't?
I like Halle
But,
Berry's better.
ew.
I'm joking on that one.
I surely hope so. The only thing good that came out of that movie was the video game.
And Hathaway's version was pretty good.
I haven't seen it, and I'd rather not. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Batman or Catwoman. We're here to talk about wrestling, aren't we?
Well, Zoe Kravitz's version is pretty good.
I haven't seen it either.
From the new the Batman.
You saying that doesn't make me see it. Haven't seen it. I have no opinion, and I'm smart enough to not have an opinion about something I don't know about. Take notes.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I have opinions about a lot of things I don't know about, and it's more fun that way.
Oh dear. Again, this is not what we're here to talk about, though. Let's talk about the wrestling, because we got a lot of wrestling to talk about, my guy. We got 4 nights of wrestling, and I watched
9
every single
matches.
match.
9 matches from the Junior Tag, the GHC Junior Tag League. Is over here to talk about from the 15th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. We're going to go over all 9 matches over those nights. So I think we're going to get into it here.
Yes.
Before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of you. Whether you're tuning in on Jerry Wrestling Talk or on A Plus Productions, thank you so very much. We appreciate all of the support. But with that support, just like a bra, let's get into it.
Okay, that's the direction we're taking. Okay.
I thought it was clever and stupid at the same time.
Of that you are true.
At least I'm trying.
I'll give you a gold star next time I see you. Maybe when you're dropping off my gift from Mike. That was at your house for like 2 weeks.
If I remember this weekend. Let's kick it off. On February 15th, we started off in the B block. It's AMAKUSA and Junta Miyawaki versus the first time I've ever seen them, F-Swag, which is Jun Masaoka. That is the gentleman in front in the picture. And Gaia Hawks or Gaia? I don't know. I don't know.
Gaia. It's Gaia.
It's Gaia Hawks. Okay. Gaia Hawks. That is the gentleman in the back. I don't like them because they confuse me because I kept wanting to call them Tadasuke and Yuto Kikuchi.
What?
It screwed me up.
I really like them.
I watched 3 of these nights back to back. I'd already watched this show, but I hadn't watched. I watched 6 matches back to back, and I watched F-Swag twice in there, and it screwed me up because I kept thinking, it's Yuto and Tadasuke. No, it's Gaia Hawks and Masaoka. It scared me up. I'm my brain is broken, by the way. I'm pretty sure being sick just fried something in my brain.
This is funny. We're off to a great start.
No, we're not. Masaoka being a bit of a dick to Amaska early on. There's a
Mhm.
step off the middle rope, springboard Rana by Hawks, and then he drop kicks Junta out, tosses out Amaska. Then he hits a tope con hilo to everyone on the floor.
Mhm.
Maska,
And he nearly soared over their heads. He had so much height on that. I feel like they had to like really stretch up to catch him from flying into the crowd on that.
yeah. Masaoka trips and pulls Junta into the ropes, and F-Swag get the double drive-by drop kick. They follow with a suplex and a tope atomico combo to Junta for two. That's that spot where they come into the over the top and into the ring with like the Eddie
Okay.
senton. The Eddie Guerrero
Yeah,
senton
yeah.
is a tope atomico.
Okay.
Yeah, just good heel work from F Swag here. Maska backdrops Gaia to the floor, hits a tope suicida corkscrew dive. Like he goes through suicide and like corkscrew turns through it. It looks really good.
So cool.
Yeah, Gaia hitting this like Amaska's up top and Gaia like cartwheel into a jumping kick to Maska up top. Looked so good. S-Swag, at the end comes S-Swag misses with their weapons, with air quotes, but they distract the ref. Gaia hits Junta with the wet floor sign, and Masaoka gets the backslide pin for the win. And then Gaia does attack Amaska after the match a little bit. But yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. What's funny is there was a few we kind of did really good for notes on this one because there's some that I had that were similar to yours, but a bunch that I had differently, and I have some more explanation on the finish. Um, so just for to echo Andre on this one, this was my first time seeing F Swag, and they came out to the angriest screamy music I've ever heard, and I loved it. Immediately, I was like, I don't know who they are, but I love them. They are now one of my favorites. Just from music alone. I love the gear that these two have because it's their own style, but it's
They look like
enough.
Ratels. They look like Ratels to me.
Which member of Rattel has shorts that are split up to the hip and have little
Kind
dangly bits hanging off of them? No
of looks
one.
similar to Yohei.
No, Yohei has 6 little triangle things hanging off of his waistband, not even remotely close. He's wearing full pants. These were shorts, split up to the side. Like, you're not going to convince me that, like, that anything other than drugs made you think that F Swag was Rattel and vice versa. Because there's no way, especially with Gaia. Gaia doesn't even move like anybody in Rattel, buddy. He's too freaking fast. He's like a little freaking lightning rod. I showed you a picture the other day, the hookiest hook kick that you ever seen. You couldn't even see his body. He was hooked. So good. I just, you delulu you in your kaflulu. All right. Let's get into what I said here, though. All right. Yeah. You mentioned Hawks really taking it out on Miyawaki early in this match. Yeah. Holy crap. They were matching each other for speed. It was crazy. The Tope con Hilo by Hawks was pretty nuts. Again, mentioning that he almost soared over their heads. Freaking insane. What else? What else? You said that. Uh, you said that. Okay, so there was one part that you'd mentioned. I'm just going to build up, I think, a little bit on it. So Masaoka blind tagged in, and Amaska reversed a double team and tried to shove Masaoka into Hawks, but instead he leapfrogs him into an immediate strike on Hawks, and then back kicks Masaoka, and then leg strikes Hawks. It was just fun little like hip hop ping pong kind of situation where I was just like, "Ooh, that was so cool." I had to pause it and rewatch it like a few times to like get the whole description properly there. So the last thing I wanted to say was to build on the finish there. So Masaoka rakes the eyes, and Hawks distracted the ref so that Masaoka could try to attack with the wet floor sign, but Miyawaki ducks it and disarms him, and he ends up dropping it just in the corner, which then allowed him to okay, wait. The ref got shoved out of the way. Hawks picked up the wet floor sign at that point, nails Miyawaki, and that goes in to the finish. I hated it because it was such a dick move. But in these tournament situations, you gotta do what you gotta do to take the win. And where I don't like it because I love Miyawaki and Asuka together as a tag team because they're such a happy and positive tag team for the crowd to latch onto. I'm happy that these guys came in and won immediately because it set them up as a threat for the rest of the tournament. And if they came in and didn't pick up a win and no one really knew who they were at that point, I feel like it would have done them a disservice for the rest of the tournament, which I'm sure you can agree for them was phenomenal when you knew who they were.
Yeah. I'm kidding with the RATEL'S thing, but at first I was confused. It screwed me up. Then I realized, oh, okay, yeah. I was just playing that up a little bit just to be an ass. We move on. Second junior tag league match on the 15th. We have Daiki Odashima and the GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion Eita taking on Muggs, Kieron Lacey, and Mark Trew. They're getting Mug just being dicks at the start of the match. Gonna getting in their faces. Really fires Odashima up. He goes just like he really gets fired up before the match.
Mm-hmm.
Great test of strength spot at the start between Odashima and Lacey. Odashima does get the advantage at first, but then Lacey comes back, getting him down. They go into like these pins where their shoulders keep coming up. Then they do these like flipping exchange, and we get like double pins. Off the every time somebody's flipped off, Odashima does this beautiful bridge up, and he's like holding it with like on his neck. And they flip over, and even Lacey even puts his hand up to shake his hand, being impressed by the bridge on the neck. That was an impressive bridge.
Oh gosh, yeah, the strength of his neck must be insane.
So there's a spot where I think it's Odashima has Trew in the corner, and Mark Trew in the corner. And Trew's just like, "Hey, ref, he's grabbing at my hat because he's always wearing his toque.
His little
He's like,
toque, yeah.
he's grabbing at my hat like he's like like as if he's pulling his hair. He's yelling about his hat. I laughed so hard at that. Oh,
Yeah.
just so good. Trew ends up putting the hat over the head of the ref. He hits Eita low. They double team him. They do the wishbone, followed by the senton by Lacey, and then Trew hits the swanton off of Lacey's back onto Eita for a 2. Great spot there. Eita fighting off a double team, setting Trew, like launches Trew up, setting him kicking him into like it's a drop kick into Lacey. I did like that. Odashima comes in with the high cross, and he starts hitting multiple gut wrench suplexes to Mug. Just love his fire up spot there. Trew hits Lacey, and Odashima tosses Trew out, and it's a fisherman suplex to Lacey for 2. Lacey fights off the double team, hits a flying headbutt, but Trew comes off the back, but misses Odashima, and Odashima kind of scores a roll up here for 2. The end of this match, there's a headbutt German combo by Mug to Odashima, but he kicks out. They then followed up with the suplex bomb for the win.
That suplex bomb, I feel like I've not seen it before. I feel like that for me is a new move that I'm seeing, and I fracking love it. Like, how freaking cool, devastating does it look? Crazy. Anyway, okay, let's get into it. The beginning there that you mentioned where they were really razzing up Odashima, did you notice the casualness of Eita in this one? He was standing right up in the corner, pushing Odashima into the the lion's den, if you will, and getting him fired up because I think he knew Odashima needed that. And man, just a real quick overall, Odash has got to be like the Kosei Fujita of Noah. Like he is just so naturally good at what he does, and he has this charisma that enables him to be both serious, but also kind of lean into the jokingness a little bit, as you see with the like the headstand and in matches before, like when this was set up and Mark and Kieron were already here. There was like an 8-man tag where a couple of the other guys were paired up with these guys. And again, Odashima and Trew were having some kind of like beef in there as well, but it was also kind of goofy. So I like how they have these funny little interactions while still maintaining that hard persona. So anyway, into the match. Um, the test of strength with Odashima and Lacey at the beginning with the bridges and the headstands, really super cool that you mentioned. So you mentioned the wishbone. So okay, maybe you said this, maybe I just wrote it down weird. Lacey picks up Odashima in a pile driver position and then Trew on the top, but Eita grabs his foot, allowing Odashima to come back down and then pull out the legs of Lacey and flip over into a cradle pin for 2. That was a mouthful. Oof. Um, phenomenal forearm by Trew to Lacey, or by Trew to Lacey. So I think that was a little botch in the match where Odashima got out of the way, allowed Trew to hit his partner. And Odashima, well, where'd that note go? I lost it. We'll just move on. Well, you mentioned that too. We got a lot of the similar notes in this one, man. So okay, real quick, I'll just go into my overall thoughts. Trew and Lacey. Holy fracking shit, where have these guys been hiding? Progress, you said? You guys, I watch a lot of wrestling. Why are we baiting me with this team? They are so good. They operate like one of the most well-oiled machines I've ever seen in my life. They just flow effortlessly into everything. And they're not like LIJ where it's that quiet thing. They are literally screaming at each other what they're doing. It's so British. I love it. But yeah, this team, they're good. They dominated this match and they dominated the champions team. This is a junior champion. Like Odashima, yeah, he might be coming up from the young ranks, but he is really good too. This was a phenomenal match. I love this match.
Yeah, amazing match. So the third and final match of the Junior Tag League on the 15th featured the champions RATEL from RATEL'S HAYATA and Yohei versus All Rebellions Alejandro and
Alejandro.
Kai Fujimura. Roll-up exchange at the start between Alejandro and Yohei. That I'm very sure Alejandro got a pin here, but the ref just stopped counting because Yohei didn't kick out. It was really weird. And again, they were not close enough for the ropes for it to be a rope break because they were about this far from the ropes. And I'm just like, I just watched the ref 1, 2, and then it just kneels up, and I'm like, and Yohei did not kick out at all. There was just something messed up there, but it was like,
yeah.
So Alejandro and Kai Fujimura should have had a win here. All right, then it should have been that fast. I'm now mad that it wasn't that fast. You know what I mean? Like,
Rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a good match.
Yeah, there's a beautiful double tope con healed by All Rebellion to RATEL'S on the floor.
Yeah.
The tope atomico that Alejandro does into the ring, where it goes up and then bounces his shins off the top rope into the flip.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
that's when
his.
that's supposed to happen on purpose.
Oh God, I love the way he does it. It looks so
Did you miss my
smooth.
joke?
No,
That's how you're supposed to do that move.
no, Eddie Guerrero did it for years, just up and over. That's a tope
I'm
atomica.
saying the CWE version was probably the wrong one.
The CWE version.
Yes, where that finish for the tag match with Rene Dupree and Danny Duggan.
Oh, okay, I don't remember.
Where the Omen tripped on the top rope coming into the ring and planted his face?
Oh yeah, I did, dude. I've
Oh
already.
my.
That's we already did the show. I already like Sherlock Holmes says, you have to take things out of your brain to make room for new things. So that show was already done. So I just took all that stuff out and just put it
Could you
aside.
take information from 2007 then and actually free up some space for conversations we're just having?
No, those ones are like hardwired in.
Jesus Christ.
Kai with his beautiful double stomp to the back, and then Alejandro hits a tornado DDT to follow up to Hayata. Beautiful code red by Alejandro for a two. Then does that whole rolling around into pins on Hayata. Then he sends him into a kick by Kai, but Yohei ends up breaking up the pin. Just great stuff. Yohei and Kai trading hard strikes at center. Yohei just nails this sick ass chop, slips out of, and then but Kai goes picks him up, going for a slam, but Yohei slips out and hits a beautiful twist of fate.
Yes.
A little bit later, there's a beautiful final cut like that, spinning like what TJP does. He has him in the inverted DDT, spins around with the elbow, as I call it, the final cut
Hmm.
into the Alejandro frog splash, but to Yohei, but Hayata breaks with the pin. Hayata gets hit with a double super kick. Kai gets the two amigos into another final cut, but Yohei kicks out at two. At the end of the match, Hayata catches Kai with the Impaler DDT. I cannot remember what he calls it. Do you?
Oh, that's what that is.
I guess where you just
I don't
lift
know.
up and drive him in
I called it
DDT
a
style.
brainbuster DDT.
Pretty much same thing. And Yohei hits this just sick running drop kick, and he gets the win. God, yeah, great match.
Yeah. Um, I hope I explained this right with my wording.
Probably not.
Hayata thinking that fuck off. Hayata thinking that he's yeeting Alejandro out the ring, but he's holding on to the ropes, just bounces off of Kai Fujimura's back. Kai kind of does a little squat to push him back into the ring into a head scissors. Thought that was pretty cool. Very lucha, 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 lucha. Um, So, okay, I have All Rebellion tossing Yohei into the corner, then both hitting him with back elbows, but Alejandro makes the table for Fujimura to jump off of, and then they do the cartwheel into the drop kicks. Did you mention that? I feel like that was a mouthful. Yay! I didn't hear anything like that, so I'm like, we're gonna go for it. Um,
It's a
see here.
mouthful. You missed what I did there, but
I did. What did you do? Oh, why? You look like you're vomiting.
that's what happens when your mouth is
Oh
full.
dear. Um, Okay, Fujiwara dropping Yohei down with the body slam close to the ropes, tags in Alejandro, who hops straight up and over the ropes, purposely catching his feet into that senton. That's the thing you were talking about. What was it called again?
The Tope Atomica, but with a
Kobe
double knee
Atomic.
drop added in.
Okay, at least he went over the top rope, so that makes sense. Um, okay, there's a diving somersault senton is what I wrote down for two on Yohei. Um, Yohei trips Fujimura into the bottom rope, and Hayata feeds him that drive-by drop kick. The atomic drop. I love Hayata's atomic drops. I don't know why, but I just think that he sets them up really, really good. It's so simple, but it's effective. Um, okay. Okay, got that, I got that. So I wrote down Fujimura got a little too much bounce, barely catching HAYATA for a bit of an awkward Rana. There was one point where he came off the ropes almost a little too much. He put a little too much spring into his set and almost missed locking HAYATA. He did just barely get the tippity tips of his toes on there to allow him for some kind of leverage, but it was a bit of a struggle. Handspring, back elbow to what looked like him just diving on Hayata's face on the floor. I didn't know what was going on with that one. Handstand Rana from the second rope by Hayata to Alejandro. Um, okay, so I wrote a Canadian destroyer. Is that what you said about that rolling thing?
Code Red.
Code Red.
Because
Yeah,
it's not the Canadian Destroyer is the pile driver, where the Code Red is when they hop on the back and they underhook the arms and flip them almost into like a power bomb style. It's not an actual pile driver. It's a Code Red.
okay. That's
I'll,
something I'm
I'll
gonna have
send
to
you I'll
start.
send you pictures of the differences
I would
or videos.
appreciate.
Yeah.
The rolling thing, I called it the roly poly oly. Just what it looked like to me. And then the thrust kick. Yeah, you mentioned the Amigos, you mentioned the Twist of Fate, Brainbuster. I know you weren't too happy because of the pin thing at the beginning, but I was happy that my
Oh
boys
no,
got the win.
I was happy at who won this match, but it just as a fan sitting there watching this, going, "God damn it, ref! Just do like I don't care. Do the job you're hired for. If you're counting, just fucking count. If the wrestler doesn't kick out, that's on them. Just count the
It is.
goddamn count, you stupid a-hole." I just knocked stuff over by hitting my table. But that's
But
where I was annoyed.
we do know that that is how all of the Noah refs are, though. They do pause the counts quite
Mm.
often. And when I say pause, I mean they do long counts,
Mm.
very long
But
counts.
he just stopped. He
It's not
just
just
stopped.
Mississippi for them, Mississippi.
Yeah, but again, he didn't even
He
finish
did.
the
He did just
Pippi
stop.
for
Yeah.
3. He just was like 1, 2,
And there was a kick out somewhere.
and there was no kick out. That's why it just annoys me. I'm
I
happy
get that.
with them winning, but it's the ref screwing that spot up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Before we
yeah,
move on to the next tag match, could I talk about two matches that also happened on this show real quick?
sure.
Real briefly. I won't because this match in particular is one match that if you guys have the access to Wrestle-Universe, get it. It's worth the price. You get access to 8 different companies, including Pro Wrestling Noah,
I know what
including this
match you're
show.
about to talk about too.
It's on my list for match of the year because it was shockingly good. And when I say shockingly good, I don't mean that I'm shocked it was good. I'm shocked it wasn't higher in the card. Like it was match 5 of 8, 9. This was a main event match in the middle of the show. And this match featured RATEL'S Yuto Kikuchi taking on Team 2000X newest member Tetsuya Endo. Both these guys have such crazy athleticism. They are so good at what they do, and they are both very aerial based. But then there's also that technicality base that they have. These two worked so good. I'm not going to go over the notes because we only have so much time, but when you have a pinfall at the end of the match, and instead of immediately cheering, the audience goes, "Aw," because it's over, you know you had a great match. And that's what happened with this match. There was an audible sigh of sadness at the end of it when it was over. Um, it was Tetsuya Endo picking up the win over Yuto Kikuchi. But if you were unsure about Kikuchi at this point, Watch this match. You will not be unsure any longer. I took extensive notes on this. And the other match that I wanted to briefly mention was the return of Kenta. Kenta and Keno as a tag team taking on Masa Kitamiya and Ulka Sasaki. This was a great match. It has set up Kenta and Keno as tag team partners as they are moving forward. They have joined together. Keno has left All Rebellion. He is now, I don't know what they're calling themselves yet, but I don't think they can call themselves Team Kick because I think that was Dakota Kai and somebody else. But like, I they both kick. I don't know, was it Team Bro Kick? No, that would be a Matt Riddle thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out at some point. But this was the first official kind of joining with these two, and this is the start of their hilarious storyline that is going forward where they're almost reluctant but not reluctant partners. Like I was explaining this to Andre the other day. If you watch Wednesday, the Netflix show, you can think of Kenta and Keno respectively as Wednesday and oh, what's her name? I can't
Werewolf
remember
Girl.
her name. The werewolf. What's her name? She has a really funky name. Eunice? I think it's Eunice.
Never
Correct
seen
me if
it.
I'm wrong in the comments. But anyway, it's like Keno is sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, and Kenta is doom and gloom. And it works perfectly. Um,
But
Gets the
Keno's not even sunshine and lollipops, so that's the
he
thing.
is
The dude
though.
is like dark sunshine and dark lollipops.
Not in Noah. He's a dick when he goes to other companies. In Noah, he's a face.
Yeah, but he's like a dark face. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
he's exactly what he attacked in New Japan. He is El Ingobernable of Noah.
yeah.
But yeah, those were the two matches I really wanted to focus on. Like the main event starts to build with like the feud that's going on between Ozawa and Manabu Soya, as this is when you start to see Rattel and the involvement with Rattel. And this tag match was with Soya and Tadasuke. You know Tadasuke is an amazing wrestler. The main event was really really awesome because it was Ozawa and Iwata-san taking on Manabu Soya and Tadasuke. Again, I'm not going to rant about those because we have so many other shows to talk about, but those are the matches. As other matches, you should definitely check out on this show if you check out this 15th show.
So we move on to February 20th. On this show, we had two Junior Tag League matches, both from the B Block. They kicked it off with F-Swag's Gaia Hawks and Jun Masaoka versus RATEL'S Tadasuke and Yuto Kikuchi. Now, I look at Ratel and I look at Tadasuke and Yuto Kikuchi, and my brain wants to call Tadasuke Yuto Kikuchi and wants to call Kikuchi Tadasuke. I really feel like the blonde, smiley Tadasuke feels more like a Yuto Kikuchi than a Tadasuke, and Tadasuke, the dark, kind of gloomy one, feels more like a Tadasuke than a Yuto Kikuchi. It just it throws me off. Oh,
Isn't it fun when the brain be braining?
my brain does not want to work. I don't know why.
Well, I will blame the sickness.
Yeah. Masaoka pulling Tadasuke's hair early on in the match. There's a nice little double. I didn't take a lot of notes in this match, honestly. Double
Oh, I
drive
thought
by,
you did.
double drive by F Swag to Tadasuke. Tadasuke suplex to Masaoka, then tosses Gaia over and does that whole just goes suck it to Masaoka. I was like, yeah.
Oh, he was so mad. So mad.
Gaia misses a pump kick at one point. Tadasuke does the fake out into the DDT. I love
Hmm.
that. Tadasuke gets taken out with the wet floor sign, and S Swag hits kicks into Northern Lights on Yuto Kikuchi. for 2. Then they hit an assisted brainbuster for 2. The end of the match comes. Tadasuke lariat to Gaia Hawks. And Yuto is... Okay, I wrote that really weird. Yuto hits the drop kick and then hits a cross-legged Death Valley driver for the win.
Yay. I got that one right. Yes. Gold star me.
Bronze at best.
Shut the fuck up. I get gold.
No, I get bronze. I don't give out gold very easily. I can give you like myrrh.
What your stinking myrrh? Anyway, Masaoka really making light work of Tadasuke at the beginning here. Holy man, they kind of came in like a wrecking ball, didn't they? Kikuchi shoulder blocks. Kikuchi shoulder blocks Hawks down, who then kicks up immediately and then cartwheels through Kikuchi's head scissors and answers with his own head scissors. The kip up that Hawks does, he is, I swear, like rubber. Like it was almost like at one point his feet were like standing, but his head was still like down, and it was almost like he like slowly like just woo. It was equal parts freaking cool and slightly disturbing to watch because it kind of bordered that line of being creepy and cocky. You know what I mean? It it was still really cool though. So Kikuchi tries to taunt Hawks with his little handspring pose that he's been doing in his thing with Amaska, but Masaoka comes in from behind him and rakes the ice. Masaoka ties up, with Kikuchi and pulls him by the pants into the rope. So there was one point where they were in like a front headlock kind of thing, and then they just kind of backed up to the ropes, and instead of bouncing off the ropes, Masaoka kind of dropped down and grabbed Yuto by the pants and just kind of pulled him into the 619 kind of looking thing. As I'm trying to find my notes again.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And sets up for that sandwich drop kick by F-Swag on the outside. There's a double run in the corner by F-Swag, followed by the suplex by Masaoka and the vaulting moonsault from the apron to the ring by Hawks for 2 on Kikuchi. That was a lot. This was a point where I was like, I really love the like young cocky attitude that F-Swag has against the calm that like ever present calm that seems to be Yuto Kikuchi. No matter how chaotic anything gets, he seems to always be the calmest cucumber in every situation. And then there's Tadasuke, just losing his shit. But I love it. There's a handspring kick by Kikuchi to get Tadasuke in because he was getting his shit wrecked. Big suplex by Tadasuke on Masaoka, and then he yeets Hawks out of the ring and sends him that big old fuck you. Which again. And then there's Tadasuke losing his shit. Oh. Masaoka playing Got Your Nose with Tadasuke at one point and then nailing him with 2 massive forearms to the gut while using the momentum of the ropes that he had gotten. Yeah, these guys are super quick and very, very unique with their in-ring styling. There's a DDT by Tadasuke on Hawks, and he lawn chaired him. Like, he flipped over and just kissed his knees. And then he came back up, and he delivered a little kind of neck breaker stunner thing to him right away after. Can't imagine his back was feeling too great after that. So Kikuchi is legal, but Tadasuke stays in to help. Hawks reverses the double team, sending Tadasuke into Kikuchi, but Tadasuke is still able to strike Hawks. Tadasuke goes to the ropes, and Masaoka hits him with the wet floor sign at that point. So F-Swag double teaming Kikuchi, but Kikuchi trying the same thing that F-Swag tried, and then bounces over. So Hawks bounces over Masaoka, and then Masaoka feeds Kikuchi a thrust kick. Then Hawks with a jumping axe kick, and Masaoka with a standing mid kick. These guys are kickers. in case that wasn't implied. Very much kickers. And I also wanted to mention, I didn't mention earlier, their gear kind of gives me like, do you remember Gold Jacket Okada? That's the vibes I get from them. Get that rainmaker money kind of vibe. Yeah, that was all I have for this one. I had a lot of fun with this match. You got to kind of see the personalities of all four of these guys come out in this one, with the antagonistic nature of these two guys and their by any means necessary kind of thing that they do. And then you have Rattel, who kind of have that perfect combination of calm and crazy to kind of combat that. I had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, me too. And we move on to the second match on that show. Atsushi Kotoge and I hate this man's name.
Hajime.
Hajime Ohara versus Amaska and Junta Miyawaki. There's some names I can get. His I can't.
You know what the name of their team was, by the way? This was the night I figured it out when I saw it pop out. Their team name is Amamiya.
Mamma Mia. Here we go
Right? That is
again.
exactly
Bye
what I
bye.
did. Amamiya. Yeah.
I'm calling
So
them
good.
Mamma Mia from now. I'm calling them Mamma Mia from now
No,
on.
no, it's Amamiya.
No, just Mamma Mia. They're Mamma Mia.
No, that
Yeah,
doesn't
Mamma
make
Mia.
sense.
So the team of Mamma Mia, Amaska and Junta Miyawaki. Ohara out wrestling Amaska early on, getting super technical, and gets into this really cool, like, he traps the arm with the leg and then pulls back into a single leg crab. Man, this dude is technically so good.
You're saying Ohara?
Yeah.
I thought it was a stretch muffler.
No, it was like he hooked the arm with the leg and then pulled back. Like he had him high angle. It was like a really high angle single leg crab with the arm
Oh,
hooking one with his leg hooking one of the arms.
I've been writing that down as a stretch muffler variation.
Because he doesn't put the stretch muffler is put over the back of the neck. His is just a single leg crab with an arm hook. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Beautiful double arm drag by Amaska into this beautiful double high cross by Junta Miyawaki. And then Junta hits a dive onto both of Kotoge and Ohara on the floor. Kotoge with his he's got that the dude's got a drop kick like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I really did like the double big boot by Ohara and Kotoge. Just they wrap their arms around each other and hit the big boot together.
I call it the bro boot, even though it is like kind of reminiscent of Riddle. It's like that's something bros would do. Just be like, rah, boot.
Uh, uh, you get Ohara gets another backbreaker, just wrecking him, just wrecking Junta here. Gets it too, then does that single leg crab move again.
Mm-hmm.
But Junta fights to the ropes, and Ohara's like grabbing at the arm, pulling it, trying to keep him from getting to the ropes, but he does get there. Um, really cool spots and your beautiful springboard rana by Amaska to Ohara, setting him out. He fights with Kotoge on the floor. Again, there's a beautiful tope suicida corkscrew dive by Amaska here. Just God, it looks so good. It's so
Mm-hmm.
smooth how he goes through the rope like that.
Yeah, I mean, he reminds me a lot of Pac in the way that like Pac clearly works on his moves to the point of perfection. I feel Amaska is the same way. He's got that same work ethic that makes him do a move a certain amount of times perfectly in his mind before he'll actually do them kind of guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just a little bit later, there's a beautiful flip off the top into a cutter by Junta Miyawaki to Kotoge for two. Um, Junta and Kotoge are just trading headbutts. I don't like it. I just don't. When you
He
smack,
puts his hand up.
I know, but it's still just You always complain about it too.
I do, but I know that from you that the hand here makes it better.
Yeah, at least you're hitting your
He's
hand and
not
not skull to
Hanarying
skull.
his cranium into oblivion.
That's true. Kotoge ends up dropping Junta, but Junta gets the knees up on a splash and gets a 2 count. Beautiful skull and bones like style elbow drop. Like it's the Motor Machine Guns or like intergalactic jet setters big move where they do the neck breaker splash thing, but
Mm,
they do it with like a Junta and Amaska do it with an elbow drop instead with the neck
mhm,
breaker. I really like the variation on that.
mhm,
And then Junta finishes. It's a German for 2 on Kotoge for 2. Beautiful tilt the world backbreaker to Junta by Ohara and Kotoge in with a beautiful shining wizard.
mhm.
End of this match comes air raid crash by Kotoge to Junta while Ohara has a submission on for 2. Junta scores a roll up on Kotoge while Amaska just rolls up Ohara, but because Junta and Kotoge are
Yeah, legal.
Junta and Ohara are the legal men, Junta gets the win.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like Kotoge was setting up for a kill switch on Miyawaki there when he reversed it and rolled him up. And he lawn chaired him. He kissed his knees. What was that pin where he flips over and holds the legs like that?
Um, Jackknife.
It's kind of like what Ida does, the Ida Bashi.
Oh yeah, like Azumi Sushi or eat a bot. Okay, yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, where they roll over the legs. I don't know what it's called. I haven't been able to find it, it's properly called, but yeah, it looks really freaking cool.
I want to
Um,
say prawn hold, but I could be wrong.
that's one I haven't quite understood, so maybe.
But I don't know if that's what it is. I've
I
heard
mean, I have
prawn
the
hold for
description of it, I
pins.
just don't understand it, so.
Yeah, could be.
Um,
I think I'm wrong on that one, but yeah.
um, I think the only thing I have to add to this is, Miyawaki waiting too long after the arm drag for the cover, and Kotoge managed to escape, but Ohara grabs him for a spinning backbreaker, and Kotoge hits a PK for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kotoge furious at the end of this match, and I want to bring that up because at the beginning of this match, he was on his hands and knees begging the crowd to cheer for him, and boy, he got them behind him pretty quick. Like the crowd was pretty giving in that, but he was absolutely livid about the loss. Poor guy. Which is
Mm.
fair. He's been working hard. His look is changing. It's becoming palatable for me.
He doesn't
And
look
I
like a
know
Japanese Hitler anymore.
he does. And he looks great wrestling with Ohara. They work so well together. I love this variation of Team Noah. I say
Is
that
it
because there's a
Team
lot of
Noah?
variations of Team Noah. Yeah, they're Team Noah.
Okay, it's Team Noah. That's what I thought, but I was like, could be. I was like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Oh, right. I forget. You don't watch the intros and see the massive fracking flag that he
I've seen the
has
flag. I just didn't know if that was more just
that
like their.
says Team Noah on it.
Yeah, but I thought that was more like their Hantai or whatever, like your main unit or whatever kind of
They
thing.
are.
Okay, so they're
They're a
really
part
not
of
a
it.
team then. They're just random
Well,
guys
like,
who work for Noah.
no, they're called Team Noah.
Okay.
And like Mohammed Yone is a part of it. Black Men Saray is a part of it. I think Anthony Green technically now is a part of it. Go
Hmm.
Shiozaki. They're all part of it. It's the biggest
Okay.
faction, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's the biggest faction. But yeah, this one, I felt for Kotoge and Ohara after this one.
Yeah,
It was a
you
good
do
one.
because well, the story being told is Kotoge is working so goddamn hard They're trying to win here, and he keeps just losing because he's
Yeah.
a loser. Is there anything else from this
Oh.
card you want to talk about?
There was another match with Kenta and Keno. The saga continues. This one was against Muhammad Yone and Anthony Green.
It's
I felt
green.
they work very, very well together. I felt it was a really, really great match. I had a couple of notes on it, but we'll get into it. I'll get into it in a different thing. But the end was the double double, as I've been calling it, the double stomp, to kind of end it. And then the sandwich PKs, to pick up a win. He locked the crossface on Yone. Keno hit a standing crossface, which you don't see that very often, do ya?
No.
A standing crossface on Green. It was a really interesting end to the match, but yeah, it just kind of built more on that. On what's the word that I said earlier? It's a they're working together, but it's hesitant. It's there's hesitation there because Keno is just again all for it, and Kenta's
Not.
Kenta. Kenta's Kenta.
Yeah, I watched it on the 22nd show when we were watching at Mike's, and I'm like, yeah, I see it. I really see it. He's trying to fist bump him and do all this shit after the match, and like Kenta wants none of it.
And Keno's down there with his fist out, just posed like, "Grrr."
And Kenta just
Team
goes like,
Kenta
puts his
and
hand on his
Kenta.
shoulders, and like
And
Kenta just puts
Kenta's
his
just
hand on
like,
his shoulders. Like an asshole.
I love it.
We're gonna move on to the February 21st show. Again, still in the B block, and tonight will decide the B block. Atsushi Kotoge, and I know you just said it. Hajime Ohara, Hajime,
Hajime. Huh?
Hajime, Hajime,
Hajime.
Hajime, Hajime.
For how talented this man is, do him the service of saying the name right.
Ohara. Kotoge and Ohara versus F-Swag, Gaia Hawks, and Jun Masaoka. Like, I gotta admit, like, they did grow on me as the more I watched F-Swag. They did grow on me throughout the matches. From me thinking they're just another RATEL'S to being like, oh, these guys are freaking amazing by the
Mhm.
end. Here, Gaia outworking Kotoge early, just like really kind of almost running circles around him, and then hits
Mhm.
this beautiful run off the top.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
Don't forget the kip up, the
uh,
casual kip up where he again just dragged his head up, just slowly like, "Hey, what's up?" Kotoge did
it
not appreciate that.
it's really weird. His kip up is really weird.
It's so I think it's just that he is so much more athletic than most people. Like
Mm,
if he doesn't have a gymnastics background, I will be surprised.
that's true. Kotoge starts throwing headbutts to Masaoka, but Gaia kicks him from the apron. Kotoge goes out, starts brawling with him on the floor. He starts
Mhm.
brawling with Masaoka when he comes out, but they eventually do get back in. Masaoka fakes out. What the hell? I don't even know what I wrote here. Masaoka fake out getting Kotoge. Oh, he kind of like fakes him out and drops Kotoge into the ropes in that
Yeah.
619 position. They hit that dual drop sandwich drop kick to him.
Mhm.
Um, Masaoka gets a suplex into the Gaia Hawks Tope Atomico into the ring for 2. I love that setup. That suplex into the Tope Atomico. I just love the
Mhm.
simple setup there.
Mhm.
Um, Ohara gets the leg sweep and gets the arm lock. Gets that arm lock single leg crab that you thought was a stretch muffler on
Yeah.
Gaia, but it does get broken up. Kotoge gets the forever clotheslines.
He
Forever,
does.
baby. Got the forever.
He got them
Um,
all.
then he falls with a suplex for 2 on Gaia Hawks. He goes up, but Gaia hits this beautiful cartwheel into the jump kick, kicking him up top. So freaking smooth.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. If he doesn't have a gymnastics background, I will be very surprised.
There's a beautiful tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Ohara to Masaoka at one point. As Kotoge comes, or as I wrote, Kotoge, it comes in, with a shining wizard to Masaoka for 2. I added an R on the end of his name for some weird ass reason there.
Kotoge. Oh
Kotoge.
my.
Kotoge.
Yeah. The more I see Ohara, the more I love him. He's such an entertaining wrestler, but then he's also so fracking good. He's got that perfect combination of power and technicality, but then also that insane ability with the size that he has to do aerials very effortlessly. But then to be just yeeting around some of these little younger, smaller guys, pretty easy for him, I'd say.
Yeah. So Kotoge goes up to the top rope, but he gets knocked off the top, sent to the floor. Him and Masaoka start fighting into the crowd. They're brawling. Hawk stops Kotoge from coming back in by hitting a beautiful looking Tope Suicida, knocking him on the floor. Ohara stops Masaoka from getting back in. As Ohara lifts up Kotoge, is trying to get him back in the ring to beat the count. He gets hit with the wet floor sign. So both teams get counted out. So Kotoge got a point.
Did better than Odashima and Eita up until this point. Yeah. What do I add to that? The headbutts by Kotoge. I know they're not your favorite, but he did put his hand up.
Protected.
I do appreciate the over animation of the wind up that he does, because he puts it like it's not quite Twilight Baseball, but it's like almost Twilight Baseball with the leg up. If you know, you know. It gets it's very hilarious. I enjoy it. It's the same enjoyment that I get when you're doing like a twist of fate or a DDT and you swing your leg out like Jeff Hardy used to, just like a mule kick before you do it to nothing. Whatever evil spirit was trying to invade your ring space, I don't know. Yeah, there was a point where I don't remember what Masaoka was doing. He was doing something to someone on the rope, and Hawks just hopped up, pulled out a flask, and started sipping his flask. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? You're mid-match. Wait till after. There was at one point where Hawks tried a tope con hilo, and unfortunately he did catch his foot on that top rope. But Kotoge was able to actually go really, really quick in close to him, and Hawks actually ended up feeding Kotoge a DDT to make it look like it made sense, which I appreciate because sometimes that stuff's going to happen. Sometimes you just catch your foot on the rope, don't you, Andre?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. All the times.
No.
That's all I have to say on this one. I wasn't happy with the double countout, but it gave something different that happened in the tournament.
Yeah, so F-Swag ends with 3 points, and Kotoge and Ohara end with 1 point. So both teams are mathematically eliminated, with the final B block match about to happen. Because winner from one of these two teams will get 4 points. If they go to 4, technically, if they drew, it'd be a 3-way tie with 3 points, but the chances of that are super small. So we move on to that match, and it is Mamma Mia, here we go again. Mama, I'm a Scotland, I'm a Scotland Junta Miyawaki. I'm gonna call them Mamma Mia from now on. You do realize that, right?
I mean, hey, if it keeps you talking about them.
Yeah, you've ruined this team for me. This was my pick to win this, and you've ruined them for me.
I did not. I do not shoot the messenger. I
Oh
just
no,
delivered the
I shoot
message
the
that Noah gave me.
I shoot the messenger because the messenger is who brought you the terrible news. So you shoot the person that gave you the terrible news.
I feel like I'm in a Clue movie right now, and I'm the singing telegram girl who just showed up to deliver your telegram, but it wasn't. Just, just get
They're
blasted out the
taking
door.
they are taking on RATEL'S, Tadasuke, who I think you should be named Yuto Kikuchi, and Yuto Kikuchi, who should be named Tadasuke.
Fuck.
It just makes
Yeah,
more sense.
I
Tadasuke
don't know.
seems like a name of a person who's like kind of and dark, and Kikuchi feels very bright and
Have you
happy.
not heard the audience members cheering for him?
I
They
know,
sound super happy.
but Kikuchi is the more positive kind of like he's blonde. He's got the smile on his face.
Kikuchi has the dark
Sorry,
hair. This is
Tadasuke has.
Kikuchi.
I know that's what screws me up because Tadasuke's name should be Kikuchi and Kikuchi's name should be Tadasuke. Even if it was Yuto Tadasuke and the other guy's name was just Kikuchi, it would make more sense. I don't know why.
You never know. There's still time. He might drop Yuto. You never know.
It still doesn't make sense because Kikuchi's not the name he should have. He should be Tadasuke, and Tadasuke should be Kikuchi.
I think
Just
Tadasuke's
makes
been wrestling a lot longer than Kikuchi, though.
doesn't matter. They need to change. They need to switch names.
Just
It'll
switch.
help me. It'll help me if they switch names.
You hear that, boys? It's all for the cause.
Yes, help the cause. Masuka moving quick to start, avoiding up top. And he gets a beautiful springboard Rana to Tadasuke. Tadasuke gets a backbreaker into the stomp by Yuto coming off the second rope with I think it was with Masuka in the backbreaker position. Looks really good. Like
I
it's the
was by
second rope.
Rattel?
Yeah, it's what tells. Yeah.
Okay. I have that same one. I just wrote it down very differently.
Oh, okay. It's like the backbreaker into the stomp. The backbreaker stomp
Yeah,
combo, yeah.
yeah.
Yuto gets this beautiful running PK into a moonsault for two. Tadasuke comes back in, hitting a Miramare shock, or what looked like a Miramare shock, but the pin is broken up. See, I'm saying it the way you would understand it.
I haven't seen Saida for a very long time, just noting.
No, that's Mirai's move.
Oh, right, Mirai. I did see her recently. She was not happy.
No, she's never happy.
She was facing Megaton.
Yeah, nobody's ever happy just being in a company with Megaton. Megaton doesn't even be in the company. Ugh, terrible.
We'll all talk about that on Dream Marigold Reviews at some point, I'm sure.
Yep. Yuto hitting the implant buster, which is the double underhook thingy that
Oh, okay, yeah.
cat does. Then into the double arm lock on Amaska, but Tadasuke gets an ankle lock on to Junta on the floor, but Junta does get out of the ankle lock, comes in to break up the submission.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the because it's almost like a cattle mutilation, but but different. I guess you don't know what a cattle mutilation is, but because you're not a D-Bry fan, so that doesn't help.
Bra-dee-dee-bra-dee-dee-doo-da-day.
Yeah, D-Bry hooks the arms and flips over and holds the arms up. He does another
Oh,
version
yeah.
essentially where he flips over and he's like bridging while pulling on the two arms. It's just a different way of
Yeah,
locking it in.
that's called a cattle mutilator?
No, Brian's version is cattle mutilation. This version is not. It's just
Oh,
like a
would it be a
bridging double arm
reverse?
hold. Well, no, it's just
Oh,
a bridging double arm hold. That's what he just got
okay.
both arms kind of pulled out. Bro, I'll send you the cattle mutilation. It's really kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Junta drop kicking Tadasuke out, hits and does that like run up the corner dive over the top that he does. Like he runs to the
Mhm,
corner and then jumps to the floor. Looks.
mhm.
I always like. I think when what's his name? Kota Ibushi used to do it. He used to go over the top like jump over to the outside and jump to it. It was called like a triangle moonsault. I just call this a
Yeah,
triangle dive, I guess. I don't know. That's the only
makes
way I can
sense.
call it. A Junta fighting off or Rattles, as I wrote here. Rattles instead of Ratels. There's RATLES.
ADHD.
Junta fights off Rattles off the top, hits a double drop kick. Amaska in with a diving lariat, and then it hits a corkscrew splash off the top. Yuto goes up, but Amaska runs him off the top for 2. Beautiful handspring flip kick by Yuto Kikuchi. And he slams Amaska, hits a second rope moonsault, but that pin gets broken up. God.
Sorry, that was Kikuchi doing the moonsault?
Yeah.
His
Just like,
moonsaults are so tight.
mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost like he can do them within a couple feet limitation. He was just straight up and down. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's so weird because usually people need that like arc, but he's just like
Mhm.
up. He's just like up.
I'm telling you, this man has more power in himself than he is actually aware of. And you see these little moments where he does stuff like that, or where he, like, I've said it in matches prior, where he catches a springboard and he'll miss people because he's just got so much height. I'm I'm afraid of what we're going to be in store for when he actually recognizes the ability he has and unlocks it with care and not chaos.
No, chaos. Chaos is in New Japan.
Are they though?
They technically are. Everyone starts attacking each other. Junta stops the suplex and gets the neck breaker elbow drop combo with Amaska. Amaska hits a beautiful tope suicida corkscrew dive. Just again, we say it just like Paul. It's so crisp, so perfect the way he does it.
He's done that 1,000 times perfect.
Yeah. And he hits that at everyone on the floor. They get back in. Yuto gets rolled up inside. Amaska gets a crucifix for 2. Then Amaska scores a beautiful crucifix driver, just rocking him. Gets 2. He does like a corkscrew swanton style move off the top.
Is that not a whisper in the wind?
Yeah,
That's what I've been calling it.
It looks like Whisper in the Wind. Like, yeah, kind of, yeah. The Whisper in the Wind. And Amaska gets the win. Kind of, I didn't actually expect it off that move, but I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And they are declared the official winners of the B block.
Made me very happy. I love my Rattel boys, but Amaska, Mamma Mia.
No, Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
Amaska
Mama.
and Amaska and Miyawaki have really won me over. I mean, they won me over from J1 because they were just so happy and so positive, especially Miyawaki. He's always in the crowd, taking pictures with children, like winning the crowd over with his just happy-go-lucky, outgoing, extroverted self. And there's a Amaska. And Amaska, he's not quite as outgoing, but like he's like the introverted kind of happy, outgoing kind of guy. Like, he's there and he's happy to be there. He would rather not touch you, though. Like, kind of guy. And they work so well together. They have flowed so well together. The teaming of them, how quick they are with their skills combined, is just such a perfectly rounded tag team. That's to take away from Kikuchi or Tadasuke, who I saw face their Rattel brethren back in December. And the same thing. They're such a good tag team. They're such a well-oiled machine. But this match, they just weren't quick
Nope, they weren't.
enough.
Anything else on this show you wanted to highlight? Let me guess, Keno and
Um,
Kenta versus All Rebellion.
Kaito Kiyomiya and Tai Fujimura.
Yeah.
I mean, it continued. The story continued with that. The whole kind of Kenta being very hesitant and Keno being all gung ho. Especially against. I think this was the actual show where Keno actually told Kaito post match that he was going to be leaving All Rebellion. And no,
No,
they did have an
That was on February 11th. That was on the
because they
that
did
was on
have a
the
little okay, but they had a little tickety talkie afterwards, so
Oh yeah.
maybe not. Double by Keno and Kenta for the win on this one, as expected. But the photo op after is what I wait and live for. It's just so hilariously awkward. The other thing I actually wanted to give a special shout out to, like it's not even a scowl. He's smiling, but you can tell it's like fake. Like it's that fake smile that you smile when you're like, okay, we're here, like kind of thing. The last match I wanted to shout out on this show was actually Anthony Green versus Black Mensaray. These two had actually been kind of button heads a little bit since Green has returned. And Mensaray is kind of like the Yano of this company, where he's like constantly poking everybody until they explode. So this was actually a really, really fun match. We saw the regular Zah from Mensaray being a problem, but it
pizza,
was really nice.
pizza,
Zah, Zah.
pizza, pizza, pizza.
I also love watching Black Mensaray in singles matches right now because he comes out to a version of Shots by LMFAO, but like instead of everybody, I don't know what's being said, but it's like some Japanese phrase, and the crowd is so into it too. I
It's
just love it.
probably
But
everybody, but in Japanese.
it might be, but why change it? People know certain words in English there. Everybody wouldn't be a problem for them. I think it's changed to something different. If you know what it is, let us know in the comment section. But yeah, this I really enjoy seeing Anthony Green in a singles competition since his return. He's kind of been in like these tag matches or like 6 or 8 man tag matches. It was nice to see him in a singles match with the person who's kind of been grinding his gears since he got back.
So we move on to February 22nd, and we have the Block A final, 2 final matches. So in this match, Kieron, Lacey, and Mark Trew have won 2 of their 2 matches. They are 2-0 with 4
Mhm,
points. All Rebellion is 1-1 with 2 points. So All Rebellion need to win here to stay alive
mhm,
going into and hopefully hope that RATEL'S loses. But if Mug, Kieron, Lacey, and Mark Trew win here, A block is over. And they are the official
mhm,
win. Doesn't matter what happens in the second match, they cannot be beat.
mhm, mhm.
So, Trew pushing Alejandro and Kai before the match. This dude is just a freaking a-hole. Like, he's just a
Did you,
jerk.
especially at the beginning where like the crowd for Alejandro, they don't say the whole name. They say Aleje, Aleja, Aleja, Aleja.
Alejandro.
But like the crowd says Aleja, and it pissed Trew off. He was yelling at them, like yelling back at them, Aleja, shut up. Shut your face.
It's so
Like, and
good.
it was just so funny. It was great heel work. And then Lacey's just sitting there like,
Yeah.
it's funny.
He lets his little bulldog do what he needs to do. And then
Exactly.
starts the match. There's a beautiful All Rebellion double cartwheel into a double super kick to Lacey. And then
hmm
Lacey and Trew end up on the floor and they hit dual like dives onto Lacey and Trew on the floor. Oh,
hmm
so smooth. So smooth.
Was it the Tope Suicidas or the Tope Congelos?
I think it's a throwback on Helos here on this one. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah, the
remember.
stereo Topes, as I called them, from
Mm-hmm.
Brawl Rebellion. So good.
Yeah. Trew grabbing the leg of Alejandro. Lacey comes in with this flying headbutt to the gut into the ropes because he got tripped.
Yeah.
It's so good. They do hit the wishbone, as we like to call it. Lacey hits his senton, and then Trew with the swanton off of Lacey's back, but they only get 2.
Yeah, I love that they yell "Make a wish" before the wishbone. It really drives home
They're
home that it's
celebrating the
cheap heat.
children. They're
It's
celebrating the
cheap.
children.
Yeah, it's cheap heat, and I love it because it really makes you go, "Oh, those guys." Ugh.
All I can think is they're pretending to be like, I'm John Cena, make a wish. Because he's like the top make a wisher in the world.
But we can see them.
Maybe they're trying not to be seen. I don't know. Lacey and Trew both working over the fingers of Alejandro, trying to like tweak the fingers all European style.
And then eating them.
They did. Suplex bomb gets stopped into a Rana by Alejandro to Trew, and Alejandro hits a drop kick to Lacey, and he does get the hot tag. Words. I'm getting tired. Kai hits a slam into a corkscrew splash off the second rope onto Trew. Kai gets a drop kick and then hits an inverted DDT for 2. Rebellion double super kick, and they hit that final cut frog splash combo to Trew. The pin gets broken up. Double suplex by Kai. But Mug hit this like their powers, like it's like a power slam cutter thing they do, where like
Yeah.
shoulder and the other one runs through with like a neck breaker or like a neck powerbomb neck or power slam neck breaker thing. And they follow up the suplex bomb. I'm thinking it's over here, but no, kicks out. The suplex bomb is kicked out of. Headbutt German combo to Alejandro for 2. Trew goes ELP style into the assisted rope walk, into the moonsault, to the floor onto All Rebellion. Lacey hits a pile driver to Kai in the ring. Trew, after finally gaining his balance, hits the shooting star press off the top, and they get the win. We don't have to review the other match because it doesn't matter because the A block is over. Lacey is through. Win the A block. We don't need to talk about the last match on this of this tournament because it doesn't matter.
We're going to talk about it because Yohei's on it, and I like Yohei.
We are. I just joking.
So I kind of popped in wherever I had something. The one thing that I had was that there was one point where Alejandro head scissored the toque off of Mark Trew.
Yep.
And I loved it because he had already
was
just
not happy.
adjusted it. No, I mean, aggressive. They came in aggressive, these guys, for this match. They was on the line. And so did Kai Fujimura and Alejandro. But it was just, they weren't able to power through these two guys. I feel like there was a perfect combination happening on both of these teams where you had that one high flyer and then the one guy who was the bruiser. But the bruisers also had that lucha style, just not as much as these guys. They were pretty much almost the same team, but just with a drastically different move set. I had so much fun with this match. The right team won this one. These guys were dominant this whole tournament. This was a well-deserved win.
Oh, heck yeah. So
Mhm.
we move on to the final match in A block, which means nothing because nobody can win because they're both losers, because both lost. It's Daiki
Rude.
Odashima and Eita versus the champions, RATEL'S, HAYATA, and Yohei. Again, this match is purely for bagging rights, as neither team can win the block. I did write
Mhm.
that. Odashima working over the arm of HAYATA early. Odashima gets a head scissors into a drop kick to HAYATA. And then he just does the backflip out of nowhere. Just does a backflip to celebrate. I'm like, fuck yeah. This kid is. I like this kid. Eita gets his. Starts swinging Odashima around him and like
Yeah.
uses the feet as a battering ram right in the Yohei. Like,
Yeah, that's that thing I was telling you about. I didn't know what to call it, so I was calling it an around the world drop kick because I didn't know what else to call it.
I would just call it, like, I don't know, I don't know what to call it, but I call it around the world battering ram because it's like
There you
he's
go.
using
It
like a
kind of
battering
works.
ram. Yeah.
Sort of. He's almost like his feet were a bat, and the bat's coming around his body. Like, there's those automated, like if you're a pitcher or something and you're practicing and you don't have a batter, the automatic bat. It's kind of like
Mhm.
what it was, like around the world bat swing. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Um, Hayata really likes his headlocks. I've noticed. He tried to go
Yeah,
to the headlock a lot in this match. I'm like, where's the
yeah.
cravats, man? Where's the cravats?
On everybody else.
Yeah. Seated
But
drop
Yohei
kick.
uses it.
That's true. Seated drop kick into a pin by Yohei to Odashima for 2. Then he gets like this like modified camel clutch. Uh,
Yeah,
but Odashima does get to the ropes. Did you write down camel clutch?
I did. I did. I did. Yeah, that was I really like the camel clutch for some reason. I don't know why, but I think it's a really cool move.
So this is where I noticed a guy in the crowd. So as you're
Oh,
watching the hard cam, the entrance is right behind them, and there's a dude in the second row just leaning on the barricade, just like the entire show. This dude was having no impress. He was not impressed by anything. I literally went back and looked at other matches, and it's just him
oh,
in every match. He
hard
was the
sell.
most unimpressed, and this person in front of him going so happy, and he's just behind them, just like he's so unimpressed this entire show. It is
I
crazy.
wonder if he came with someone and
I
that's
feel
why
like he
he's
did.
there.
I feel like he's my dad coming to indie wrestling with me and just going, "What did I do?"
I mean, that's us at some of our indie shows too.
Yeah, but at
Um,
least we like it. My dad was just like, "I don't care." He's just sat there not caring, and then he finally did get into it late in the show, but still,
hmm.
they're like, "What am I doing
When
here?"
his favorite, I bet you when his favorite came out, that was when he
Oh,
got into
this is
it.
my first ever my first indie show, going to PWA, and he went with me because I was going by myself, and he didn't know
Oh,
any of these people either.
I thought you were talking about the guy in the crowd and not your dad again. Sorry.
Oh, no, 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 my dad, he finally got into the end. This dude didn't care, at least I never saw him in any of the matches that I looked I never saw him happy. It was really funny.
I wonder. I wonder. I thought you were going to point out that the not so conspicuous Hajime Ohara, who was standing there watching against the wall, or Uka
Oh,
Sasaki, who was
I
also
didn't even see
sitting at a table
I
there.
didn't see that. I didn't see that. I just saw this dude in the second row, and I couldn't stop looking at him the rest of this match. I'm like, "God
That's
damn it."
funny.
Ugh.
That's funny.
I watched this whole show, because I continued it on from when we
So
watched it
good.
on the weekend, so,
Cool,
um
cool.
so Yohei stops the suplex, hits the drop toe hold into the ropes, sending it into the ropes, hits the double knees to the back, follows it with a twist of fate, but he can only get 2. Well,
Mhm.
his twist of fate looks so good. Like,
It does. It's
yeah.
very, very like it's reminiscent of Jeff Hardy, but he has his own little touch of flair on it that makes it
Yeah,
his.
it feels more wild as he spins around. It's like, when he comes down, like he's like like his body flails out versus
He does that,
bad,
yeah,
a
he's a
little
flailer.
tighter. Yeah. Odashima gets a beautiful double high cross off the top, starts hitting
Mhm.
his multiple gut wrench suplexes to both members of RATEL'S, gets 2 on HAYATA. He hits he hits a butt splash off the top and then a splash to HAYATA for 2.
He turned into Wakaskiyama?
I don't know why I wrote a butt splash. Maybe I meant big because those letters are right next to the letters I typed. Because the T is above the G, and The I is beside the U. Don't know why I wrote that.
My amusement.
I feel broken inside. Eita drop kicks Hayata into the ropes. Odashima hits a 619 into a jackknife pin, but the pin gets broken up. Yohei kick. Yohei kick into Yohei hits a kick, sending Odashima into a Hayata slam, and then a second rope moonsault to Odashima for 2. Finish of this match comes. RATEL'S hit their sit-out facebuster cutter combo, and Hayata gets the pin for the win. And Odashima and Eita, big old goose egg. They're the worst team in this tournament.
No.
They are. They got a big old goose egg. They didn't get a single win. Dude, Kotoge and Ohara at least got 1 point. At least they got a draw.
Is it bad that I want to blame Eita?
Yeah. Oh, it's all. Well, no, because Odashima did take the pin in the second and third match, but the Eita did take the pin in the first match.
But let's real quick think about what we just talked about for the last hour and a half almost. And think about how many times we mentioned in matches that involved Eita and Odashima that we mentioned Eita. Odashima worked his ass off this tournament. This was a showcase for him as much as it was a showcase for the two teams that we hadn't been able to see. And I would say Odashima at some points was out wrestling the junior champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is kind of like I told you before, this is like the Koze Fujita. This is the special one. This is the precious. This is the one you protect at all costs. This is going to be your future Kaito Kiyomiya right here. That's a champion. He's going to do very, very well. But
well, not really. If
this
he's
match
going to lose this much, he's definitely never going to win a championship if he keeps losing like this.
I mean, Shota Umino lost like this too.
Yeah, he still won a
Yoshisuji lost like this too.
He won a championship though.
I know, but I'm saying he lost like that too. All the rookies are gonna go through these losing spells before they find their groove, Cusco.
I don't see it with Odashima. I just don't. I can see him getting maybe like maybe. Dude, they don't even have a third tier title here. So yeah, I don't think he ever wins a title.
What are you talking about?
He doesn't have it. He might have to leave. He might have to leave and go to a lower company to get a title. Maybe he can win a DDT, a championship in DDT or something. But
I mean, that's where Endo came from.
Yeah, but then maybe go there, get better, then come back. I don't know.
Pretty sure I also see Sugiura on there quite frequently.
Yeah, so that's very possible. But he's old, so really doesn't count.
He's a champion, though, isn't he?
Yeah, it's some like random indie company.
Still got more championships than us, my dude.
That is very true.
So yeah, I think what we should talk about though is what happened after this match. The teams kind of dispersed, and as the winners and champions, Yohei and Hayata, were going through the curtain, they were met with the winners of I think it was the A block, Mark Trew and Kieron Lacey coming out, and they weren't too happy with each other. There was some shoving. Mark Trew, I mean, he's like got the shortest fuse. That one. Already
Pretty
trying
much
to
he
fight
wakes up
Yohei.
and he's angry. He wakes up and he's angry.
He wakes up and chooses violence, which is
Yeah.
fair given his work. But then we also got Mamma Mia, Junta Miyawaki and Amasaka.
No.
Amaska.
Mamma mia, Mamma mia. Junta Miyawaki.
We got face off with these two guys to get some content on the face off, I guess, and then have a stare down, and they had words with each other. Mark Trew's hands had words with Amaska's face when he shoved him pretty much head over heels. Very definite size difference in these guys, where Asuka and Junta are quite small. And Mark Trew is very, very tall. And Kieron Lacey is taller than these guys, and also he's thick. Asuka and Junta, they're gonna be in for a hard match. I'm very excited to see the outcome of this, and I think that whatever the outcome is, I'm excited, and it's gonna be good because Kieron Lacey and
I
Mark
was gonna
Trew
say,
have already.
I thought you were gonna say, and I just can't hide it.
I mean, I can't.
Ah.
These guys have already gotten the exposure that they need coming here. They did everything they needed to, and they did it regardless, I think, if they'd won the tournament or not. So I think if they win this, this will be a great connection for Noah and Progress. And even if they don't, I still think it's a great connection because now there's some kind of animosity between these guys and also Rattel
Yep.
that they need to take into consideration. So yeah. Um I don't think there's too much more like there's nothing on this show that I really wanted to like speak about on top of these guys. There was I lost my tablet there.
Can I give a
Um
shout out to Takashi Sugiura versus Black Mensa Ray?
I
That
was
match
just gonna
was
say
hilarious. That match was hilarious.
absolutely hilarious. Very much a comedy match.
Oh
Very
yeah.
much a comedy match with Mensure crawling back and forth underneath the ring, trying to pin Sugiura in the weirdest, just like random ways, like tricking him in with a handshake, pulling him in and rolling him up, tricking him with something else, trying another pin, begging his forgiveness. It was so funny. It was
Uh,
hilarious. I
he's a way.
appreciate Black
He's like
Mensure
he's a
much more
better
than
Yano.
Yano.
He's a
I was gonna
better
say I
Yano.
appreciate that a lot better than Yano. Yano tries though. Yano's really, really, really good at going back and forth between the comedy and serious. You can turn on serious Yano. I haven't seen serious Black Mensure yet.
I don't
I'm
think there is
curious if
one.
he exists.
I
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
believe
it's
so.
hard to be serious when you got a bowl of ramen on your head.
True.
Um, Also the Kenta Keno thing continues. It's it's hilarious. I need some evolution in it now though. It's getting to a point of petering onto that
I think
plateau for me.
I feel like they're waiting for
Oh, they very, very much are.
more. They're waiting for Morris and Daga to get back and to get into going after the tag titles. 'Cause I feel
Oh,
like
oh,
that's their trajectory is Kano and Kenta getting those tag belts. But
I would love to see Daga versus Kenta. Heck yeah.
yeah, I have a feeling that's where it's going. And then because like I think the story is Morris and Daga are going to petition to get their championship match, being that they were stripped. They're going to get the match, but
Mhm.
it's going to be against Kenta and Kano, and this is where Kenta and Kano get the belts.
Interesting. I hope that is the case because, as I said, like it's like okay, guys, we've seen this for about 4 shows now. Where are we going from here? There's got to be a little bit of an evolution in it now, because it's getting to a point where, again, we're starting to plateau a little bit for the entertainment for me. It's still entertaining. The match itself is still entertaining, and the comedicness that is happening within it with Kenna and Kento is still utterly hilarious. But we're going to need to maintain interest by maybe starting to evolve whatever it is that it is. And of course, at the main event, there was the building of the match between Manabu Soya and Ozawa. Ozawa's kind of like, if I can just make a quick observation, because I love Ozawa. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, very quickly became one of my favorite wrestlers by one match, and that was that New Year's match that I saw with you. Um, his
You was
his
there?
what?
You said he had a match with you. I'm like, you was there?
Anyway, um, So what I was getting at before you threw my thought process off, and now I'm stalling to try to remember what my thought process was. Okay. Um, his feud with Kaito Kiyomiya was very, or sorry, Kiyomiya was very detailed, was very antagonistic, was very social media based. And even with the feud with Galeno after, there was something he could latch onto in the mask. So he latched onto that, and he's struggling to find something to latch onto with Soya. Like he ducks away from the screaming, but I feel like overall he's not working as hard on this feud as he did in the last two. What do you think
Yeah,
about that?
I see it. Again, it's also a very short build too for this. Like this was set up
Mhm.
11th of February, and they're going for the double championship on the 2nd of March, and they only really had 4 shows to
Mhm.
get there, and so it does make it tough to get there that quickly.
Yeah, but even with the match with Galeno, they only had a month to kind of build that up as well. And he did it sensationally well because again, he latched on to the mask aspect. So stealing
Mm.
the mask from him, wearing the mask, that was an antagonism in itself, and that was work. Because I can't imagine it's easy to convince a lucha to give up his mask for even
Yeah,
if it is just for a feud. Um, so
maybe he should have made some hair jokes or something. I don't know.
maybe, because like, he does play the, like, plugging the ears when Soya does his, like, yelling thing, but overall, and in the matches, the multi-men matches that have been going up into this, Ozawa's work has felt lackluster for me. I don't know if maybe he might be nursing an injury or something, because 'cause I've also noticed that he's in the ring usually first, and then not really much again until the end of it. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering if he might have an injury that he's nursing going into this match, maybe, or maybe he's just not interested in the feud. I don't know. We'll have to see how it kind of ends up going. But we'll wrap this up before Andre falls asleep on me.
that's very possible. Oh, I still got editing to do, so I'm gonna be up for another hour and a half. It's just
Oh dear.
I have to get Chop Talk up for tomorrow, so
You do. Matthias will be very angry if we wait another day.
we should wait another week just to piss him off.
No.
We should wait like 3 weeks and just piss him off.
If you're watching Matthias, I love you, and you can see it's not me, it's him.
It's not my fault.
It's
I'm just
very much
perfectly
your
fine.
fault. You're the one who got sick.
You can find me. You got me sick, yo.
You don't
So
know that.
I
I just had it first.
yes, and then you gave it to me.
You
X
know.
and Blue Sky at that Canada, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at that Canada D. You can find me on Facebook at Andre Melball Talk, or right here on our channel, YouTube.com/ at Andre Melball Talk. You can also find all the content we do in about Japanese first wrestling over at A Plus Productions on Facebook, aplusproductions.com, where you can find all the information over there. You can also find me over on Twitch at Our Local Establishment. You can find me there. So this won't come out on Thursday, so I'll just done a Marvel Talk with Ed all about Spider-Man. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus, and then next 9 weeks or so, I'll be there every Wednesday doing a recap of the Daredevil episodes. So come check those out. YouTube.com/ Our Local Establishment and Twitch.tv/ Our Local Establishment. One more shout out to Mike the Ref over at Backbreaker Video, simulcasting all of our stuff. YouTube.com/ at Backbreaker Video right there. You can also go find him live at Twitch.tv/ Mike the Ref and replays of his gaming content at YouTube.com/ at Backbreaker_gaming. Melball, where can they find you and Koji?
All minding our business.
What's the
But
address?
no. Um, you
Don't
can
worry,
find
just
me
message me and I'll send it to you.
rude. You can find me on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can find me on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find him there too because I post a lot of stuff with him. Actually, I don't. I
True.
should probably post more.
You do post a
Anyway,
lot of him stuff.
I mean, I think the last time I posted was about his birthday. Anyway, focus, Melball, focus. You can find me on everything else. TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Mastodon. What did I forget? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the other things. Melball Collins. Oh, thank you for burping on my stream, sir. You can find me on our local establishment programming on Monday for Women's Classic Wrestling with the talented Auntie Collins and the beautiful natural Astrid, where we do Women's Classic Wrestling, talking about the Mae Young Classic Season 2 from 2018. I'm excited. You should be excited. Come watch us talk about it. You can also find me on Thursday for the Honor Ramble after Ring of Honor, and I'm done crying with Auntie Collins and Kyle Sparks, where we review the show Ring of Honor. You can also catch me usually on Fridays with this guy at 8 p.m. Mountain Time for the Japanese Wrestling Update. This week we are not going to be doing a show because we are just too busy, and Friday is unfortunately a busy day in the city. So we got stuff on the go, and we will not be here. You can also find me on Astro Bizarro's YouTube channel, where we do our show Ladies Wrestling Showcase. Stick to our channels or stick to our socials to find out when that is coming out. If you're wanting to watch Noah Wrestling, we will leave a link in the description box below. It is Wrestle-Universe-Universe.com. My brain hiccuped there.
Sure.
Wrestle-Universe.com, where you pay 10 American, shout out Sean Spears, for access to 8 different Japanese companies, including Noah, including Marigold, including DDT, including Tokyo Joshi Pro, and 4 more. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up today. Get obsessed with this stuff like a Melball. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
I just want to say thank you. If you were listening to us in audio form, thank you so very much. And if you want to hear us in audio form, aplusproductions.com. Add the RSS feed for A Plus Wrestling to your podcast catcher of choice. And if you are watching us on the YouTubes, whether it's Backbreaker video, whether it's Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, thank y'all so very much for joining us here. Please like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, share this out. Tell your friends, family, and hairy little people that you know. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
No.
Woo, woo, woo.
Zack Ryder?
I was just going woo, woo, woo. I wasn't really doing
I heard
Jack.
woo, woo, woo.
Oh, I didn't even. That's what he wasn't really going for, but sure.
That being said, I am your Melba. Over there is all dry. We will see you next time.